Details are coming in this afternoon of an attack that happened on the grounds or at the entrance to the Citywest Hotel complex in Dublin, in Sagard in Dublin. This was the largest hotel in Ireland by room size. It was purchased by the Irish state, by the Irish government a few months ago for a price of just a tad under 148 million euro. It's been out of action in terms of being a hotel and accommodation for tourists for a long time now, for years. Tens of millions were being paid to the previous owners to house asylum seekers, Ukrainian refugees there. Now the government has bought it for 148 million to effectively use it as an asylum seeker hub, if you want to call them asylum seeker hub, in Dublin, with a capacity at a tad under 2,500 residents as per now. A lot of questions were asked around this purchase, what the long-term plans were, how it was going to affect the local people, and a genuine concern for crime and an elevated level of crime in the area, attacks that had been carried out in locals, people being intimidated, people living in fear. And here we have a story coming through. Gardaí launched probe into alleged assault of female child, or call it young girl, whatever you like, at Citywest Hotel. Officers were called to the scene of the alleged incident on the grounds of the Citywest Hotel in Sagart, West Dublin, this morning, Monday morning. Now, before we go any further, the details have not yet been revealed as to whether or not the child was passing by, she was staying in the hotel, or the perpetrator, who's now been arrested, a man in his 30s, has been arrested and is now under questioning. They haven't revealed whether or not he was an Irishman or not, or maybe, just maybe, the law of averages would suggest where this took place that he's not, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. But of course, details are very scant, and be fully expectant of them being drip fed over the next few days, depending on who the attacker actually was. If he's an Irishman, the information will be out there as quick as you like, because there's two-tier reporting that happens in Ireland. The media is completely compromised. The mainstream media is completely compromised. And certain stories will make it to the surface a lot quicker than other stories. Gardaí launched a probe into the alleged assault of the female child. They were called to the scene on the grounds of Citywest Hotel this morning, Monday morning. A man was arrested at the scene, and an area was sealed off by Gardaí. So this attack happened, and pretty quickly afterwards, Gardaí were on the scene, and the perpetrator hadn't left the scene. He didn't flee off somewhere else. He was arrested at the scene, and the area was then sealed off by Gardaí. The incident occurred on the site, which was recently purchased by the Irish government for more than 148 million euro, to turn it into a permanent international protection accommodation centre, which the residents of that area in Sagart, they protested against this for a long, long time. They had rolling roadblock protests going on. They petitioned. A local petition that was set up was signed by at least or approximately 4,000 residents opposing this, because effectively the people in that village of Sagart were going to be outnumbered by the amount of asylum seekers living at the taxpayers' expense in the grounds of that luxury hotel, the biggest hotel in Ireland, bought by the government and taken out of commission in Dublin, simply to house so-called asylum seekers. This is another headline here. Gardaí arrest man following alleged assault of girl in Dublin. And then they go on to say it happened at the entrance to the old Citywest Hotel complex. Why are they referring it to the old Citywest Hotel complex? Is it now, something of the past? It's just a memory for the people of that area. It functions under a new purpose right now. So it happened at the entrance, according to them. An area immediately outside the main entrance was cordoned off by Gardaí after the incident was reported. And I've got a photograph here. Someone was passing by earlier on today. They took this photograph. As you can see here, it seems to be, or the Gardaí presence seems to be confined to in and around the entrance to this hotel complex. However, other footage and other videos have been shown and other photographs have been shown to show an extensive Gardaí presence inside, in and around this area. This is a video taken by a passerby. You can see it's sealed off there according to the edge of that wall. Maybe that's the actual scene of crime right there, because as you can see, vehicles can still get in and out. So this attack must have happened literally in that small cordoned off area outside the hotel grounds, and the perpetrator didn't leave the scene because he was picked up at the scene by members of An Garda Síochána. So as you can see, the front of the complex was taped off pending forensic examination by members of Garda Technical Bureau. A man in his 30s was arrested and detained under Section 4 of the Criminal Justice Act. A Garda spokesperson said investigations into the alleged assault are ongoing. A spokesperson said they were aware of reports of a fatal stabbing which were incorrect. So what's that about? This is something else altogether. It says it's incorrect. What's incorrect? Nothing actually happened. The details were incorrect, or it didn't happen at all. See what I mean about the legacy media? This is why we need independent media. We need independent journalism. Because if it wasn't for that, you would have a clue what was going on. Now, I did say that as per now, the details of the alleged attacker have not been revealed. But let me show you something else. This was posted 3 days ago on a Twitter group or an X group called Stop Citywest Hotel. This is a group of concerned residents who are monitoring this area in particular. Now, remember, this was only posted 3 days ago. And the headline reads, here we have a man sitting drinking on a set of steps. And as you can see there, he's blocking off the steps to where? Headline or the post reads, our new friends from the Citywest Hotel drinking on the grounds of our primary school yesterday. A primary school grounds right beside that hotel. And here we have some new arrivals, some protection applicants, some asylum seekers, some refugees sitting there drinking themselves away. Drink, drink, drink on the grounds of the primary school. And Garda Síochána had to move them. So the Gardaí have already been at Citywest over the last week, at least once, to remove a group of foreign men from drinking on the steps of a primary school. And here we have this morning a young girl assaulted at the entrance to the same school by a man in his 30s. Like I said, I don't know who it is yet, but I'm sure we're going to find out pretty quick. But isn't it strange that the Gardaí were there just a few days ago, moving men along, sitting drinking on the steps of a primary school? Then the message goes out to Jim O'Callaghan, who I believe lives not too far away from this place, the so-called Justice Minister. This is not acceptable in our small village. What is the long-term plan here? Because we will not stop highlighting the issues. Well, the long-term plan is very simple. Let me outline it, and I'm sure you already know this. But the long-term plan is that the government are looking to recoup back their €148 million investment over the next at least 25 years. So over the next 25 years, absolutely nothing's going to stop here except more people will likely be brought in. And they didn't just buy the hotel itself. They've bought the surrounding grounds, around about 50 acres, and the conference centre, which they claim at this point they have no desire to use to expand the accommodation facilities. You really think the Irish government bought a 50-acre plot on the grounds of the biggest hotel in Ireland that's completely commissioned to house currently 2,500 asylum seekers with a view to expand it more, with an incoming president in the shape and form of the vulture, Catherine O'Connolly, by the looks of things, who says Ireland's not full. That's a complete lie. It's a misconception. Plenty of room here. Bring more people in. Bring them in. That's what the plan is. That's what the plan is. So, this young girl, no doubt, more details will emerge on the details of this, sadly, over the next day or two, I would imagine. And let's hope the identity of the perpetrator sooner rather than later. So leave me your thoughts and comments below. Are you in that area, especially if you're a Saggart dweller or if you're living in and around the area of Citywest, that Citywest complex? Let me know what you think. What's the word on the street? What's the feeling on the ground since that purchase and since these things have been happening? Has it abated anyway, or is this just simply confirming what many people knew all along, that this was going to be bad news for the area? Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. Cut and paste the link, drop it into your Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups, whatever groups. Send it out as an email. Send it to people you love. Send it to people you hate. Either way, get the word out there. Subscribe to the channel. No risk, no reward media. That's me, Rick Munn, for now. Over and out.